Well, now, Matt, it is time to go back to our special guest, small business owner and columnist Gene Marks, who's in the studio with Eve to tell us why he believes the financial crisis is actually good for business owners.
Well, good morning, guys. Yes, we're back with a small business expert, Gene Marks. And I was mentioning your very funny article, Gene. I just have to share one little bit to give people a taste. Gene says, for me, there are some good things happening. And he's not just talking about the reuniting of fish. This banking crisis is starting to give me hope. And hope is definitely a word that a lot of us are liking to hear more and more. You were mentioning some great points about why this may end up being good for small business owners. Another thing you say in the article is that bankers will pay more attention to our financial statements.
Yeah,
now.
they definitely will. And by the way, another really good thing about I never really did understand what a subprime mortgage loan was anyway. And now that now that all these things are crashing, I can feel like I'm not so stupid.
Right,
so,
right.
There are some benefits as well. As far as doing more due diligence, I mean, bankers now you're going to find with that whole new relationship that we're having is that they are going to be looking at our books a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because again, they've gotten a little bit hosed in the past as far as ignoring some of the loans that they're giving out. And it's funny. I mean, I have a client in Pennsylvania that they have a loan with a bank, and with covenants and financial ratios that they need to maintain. And frankly, the bank's been blowing them off for a while because the bank is kind of concentrated on other things. They're the bigger deals. Well, no longer are they blowing them off, and now the bank is starting to take a look at their financials a little bit more and making sure they're in compliance with covenants and all of that. That's a good thing. Financial metrics and covenants that a bank puts into a loan, they're meant to do a good thing. They're meant to keep ourselves and keep our eye on the ball as to where we stand. And they need to know that we're in good shape, so we need to know that we're in good shape. So the very fact that a banker is going to be asking us to be in compliance with covenants or be wanting to look at our quarterly financial statements and review information with us, we should be doing that anyway. And I think a lot of us might have been a little bit lax in our busyness over the past few years, and it's time to get down to basics. So another good thing I think that'll come out of this financial mess will be a little bit more due diligence.
Good to pay attention to all of those details. You also say that business owners will have more respect for regulation.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, you're talking to a little bit of a right of center guy here, so less government is better. But I got to admit, we have financial panics every 20 years. Everybody's comparing this to is it the same as the Depression and all of that? And it's really not. I mean, the government has definitely been involved way more than we've ever been in any kind of financial crisis. And even myself as a business owner who doesn't really have a whole lot of wanting the government in my life, I've got a little bit of a grudging respect for the government and what they're doing. They're jumping in. They're trying to keep the financial system going, and they're taking action. So, I have to say, although that I would never want the government to really be that intrusive in my life, and I think a lot of other business owners that I know got a little bit more of a newfound respect of kind of mixing government involvement in business to at least making sure that if there is a panic like this or some kind of big problems, government can get involved and help things along. I don't know if typical business owners would have said that a few years ago, but not that they're not making their mistakes, and the government is certainly not perfect. But, like I said, it's been an interesting exercise to watch them be involved in this.
Good. So the action is encouraging. Another good thing.
Yeah.
And lastly, you say real estate is... Finally, real estate is good for small business owners, right?
What I'm saying is that, real estate prices are coming down. I mean, the bubble has burst, and suddenly, that sort of real estate space that I might be looking for at a shopping center or a strip mall or even an industrial center that might have been out of my reach a couple of years ago, is now suddenly within my reach. Yeah, so if I've got a few bucks and I can afford to do it, and believe me, a lot of us business owners are, we've been able to manage ourselves so that we have that capability. We now are able to get some good deals. I heard on the radio the other day that Donald Trump is buying up half of California. So, people that know. And I think a lot of business owners right now are going to have some advantage and be able to get some good, good location, good real estate space they never could have gotten before.
Love all this good news.
There is some good news.
Just lastly, Gene, what do you say to the panicked owner, small business owner right now? What should they do?
I can tell you right now, if you know what you're doing, if you're good at what you do, you'll be fine. The people that are annoying to me are the ones that are crying in financial distress, but they were 3 years ago were popping the champagne cork. It's business owners who know what they're doing are conservative. They watch their overhead, and they keep themselves hustling. So if you know what you're doing, you do good work, you've got good employees, and you're taking care of them, you'll be fine. You will ride this thing out. You might not make as much money as you did a couple years ago, but you'll get it back again. So like I said, keep your eye on the ball.
Great. Gene Marks, thank you for the good news. We love our good news around here. Gene
do a little
Marks,
bit.
our local small business owner and nationally and locally known small business expert. We appreciate you being here. Thanks.
Thanks.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.